I want to bring in Marni Goldman tonight to get her take on this. She's a mental health advocate and the author of the new book, True to Myself, Peace, Love, Marni. So Marni, two things I can imagine are at play here. One is if your family is low income, low resourced, oftentimes that is a social comparison that's really hard on self-esteem. But also for the rest of kids, low self-esteem is often, I'm just going to say, not a fun part of childhood, but it's part of childhood. Do you buy this study that it's really about social media and stuff?
I think that it's very unfortunate that the children that do not have the economic for basic needs like the internet that have to feel left out. Even with lunches, the kids that have the free and reduced meals feel left out. They don't get a sandwich. So it starts from such an early age. So yes. Okay.
Today, the problem is missing out on social media like we saw in this study because of, let's say, strict parents. And let's take out the piece about finances. I go back, I wasn't allowed to watch Married with Children. I was not allowed to watch Melrose Place, and I really wanted to watch that. It made me jealous that other kids could do that. But that is not a terminal condition. It does change in time. So do you think it's that serious if kids feel unhappy, but they'll get on social media one day?
I think when there's a will, there's a way. They will figure it out somehow. Like, I don't know if you ever went and watched it behind your parents' back, but I do believe that you did. Okay. So when there is a will, there's a way. And I believe if children want to, they will find a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, to boil it down, I guess in my head, it's being cool and being happy. Those can be two different things, and we can maybe tell kids that.
A lot of people don't stay true to themselves, and they think that being with the cool kids is going to make them more popular. They're going to be something that they're not. But when you're authentically yourself, whether you're cool or not, those are the happy people because the right people find you.
Let's take this a little more seriously, and I want to get your take in that sense, because I don't want to dismiss it entirely. Like, for instance, if you don't have good internet, and the rest of your cohort is on there and school is from home, because it seems that schools are closed like 2 days a week now, that's you're self-conscious. If you can't use good internet to submit your work and get good grades, that also you might feel bad about yourself. Any tips for people who are genuinely struggling with that?
The advice I could give would be possibly maybe go to a library. There are counties now that are raising funds that are donating computers. Maybe just find a neighbor that might possibly have something. It's like the kids that have the free and reduced meals. Like I was saying before, they feel left out because their only place to get meals is at school. Their only place to learn is at school. So the only advice I could probably think of is reaching out to your local libraries is something, or staying later at school possibly and working there. It's so sad. It is so sad.
Yeah, I mean, by the grace of God, many people do have a good upbringing, but I mean, I know a little bit about your story because you and I have talked before. You had a really tumultuous childhood and even young adulthood. For kids who do look around and say, my life isn't as good as others, I'm not as good as others, what do you say to them?
Oh, you know what? You're comparing to something that you don't know, number one. And I just say, feel that gratitude. Look at what you do have. Even if it's 2 healthy parents and a house, that's more than I ever had. So there are simplicity with our blessings that sometimes we compare and we forget what we have. So as hard as it is when everyone's getting Air Jordans and you don't, that doesn't make someone happy. That materialistic thing, it doesn't. I would have given anything to have 2 parents versus a shoe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And a lot of parents would give anything to give their kids everything, but they can't. What is the role of parents in that case? Or if they just choose, this is not for my child. Like, I didn't have a black and white starter jacket when I really wanted one, when that was the thing to have. And I guess it was up to my parents to say, your value doesn't come from the jacket. We can't afford that. You matter. It comes from this. Today it might be TikTok or something else. What role do parents play?
I think the parents have to stay very strong with their beliefs and not give in and not go into debt because their children don't feel accepted enough. We're here to teach children to love from within. It doesn't matter what we have. It does not matter. And when you compare, please know that what goes on behind closed doors is not what you think of it at all. But parents like me, I've given in. I've done what my kids wanted, and I'm left there looking at my credit card bill. So we're not there to be our children's friends. We're there to raise them to be good human beings, not to be their friend and give in and go in debt for them.
Mental health advocate Marni Goldman, as always, thank you.
Thank you so much.